These are my thoughts on Ash vs. Evil Dead Season 2, Episode 9, Home Again. Another episode I love. Spoilers for everything Evil Dead leading up to and including this episode, not for anything that came out after it. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be? Let's dive right in. So, yeah, a lot to love here. Let's start. I don't know how much of this is going to be chronological, but yeah, the start of the episode with Ash like driving around, clearly just like trying to work out, what's the word? Like there's something, yeah, there's some tension that he has to work out, and yeah, he's talking about save the world again, but Pablo. And then we see that Pablo is there with him in the car, and they got both halves and just like put his legs put his head between his own legs. Just yeah. And Ash is talking to him as if he's still alive, which just yeah, that was really funny. And yeah, Ash is still convinced that he gets good ideas when he gets high, especially when it comes to the whole Evil Dead thing. At the start of the show, he got high and read from the book. Now he gets high, uses the book to travel back in time. And let's see. I really appreciate Kelly not letting Ruby off the hook for, sure, Ruby's trying to be supportive, but it is this thing of like, yeah, what did she say? His life is like a second compared to your life, And yeah, they get in the car, and I quite like Kelly being like, okay, can we just stop with the fucking code, and one of you tells me what's going on, and yeah, Ash manages to get Ruby to read, since otherwise he's gonna drive them into a building. And like I like the thing of Linda, I will I'll come back for you. Can somebody tell that to Linda if she didn't hear me? I was half expecting them to like cut to someone on the outside, and we hear what they hear, and because of the engine noise and Ash is maybe slurring his words, it just sounds like complete nonsense. And yeah, they managed to travel in time, and yeah, Kelly is like, okay, no, Ash, shut the fuck up, let her explain, And I like the thing of like, if you interact with your father, yeah, that's gonna create what was it? Not paradox. Yeah, she's using time travel lingo. It's we know how this goes. It's this thing of if you alter the timeline, there could be horrible consequences. I think him giving liquor to that guy is gonna come back and bite him on the ass. But yeah, they do a really great job making it look like the 1980s. A lot of great little details there. Yeah, I really appreciate that Ash has to be talked out. Like you were young during the 80s. There is no fucking way that a like, was he like college aged young man during the 80s in America would not have watched the second part of the Back to the Future. So you should know that this is a terrible idea, the sports thing. And he keeps insisting on it. He's like, I don't know, I'm just, there's a lot of money we could be making off this. Just, yeah. Let's see, and yeah, they go to. I also quite like that, when Ash hands the bottle of liquor, like he's giving so much information that was completely like, this guy probably just thinks that he's like hallucinating or something, but no, Ash specifies, no, you just saw a car drive through a time portal, just, yeah. Let's see, and yeah, they head to the cabin. They get, split up, as often happens. Yeah, let's see. I have a theory, but I don't know if I want to, in case anyone else haven't, like myself, haven't watched past this episode. I have an idea for who might be, because they keep Ruby and Kelly keep hearing a noise behind them. It could have been the tree, I guess, but I think it's not. And I have an idea, but anyway, I quite enjoyed Kelly calling out Ash's bad grammar on the note. Your, no apostrophe. He's thinking even less than usual. But yeah, it's, yeah. The note is the least they could do. If Pablo wakes up and doesn't remember that he was dead, yeah, the note, it's not nothing. And the let's see, yeah, they split up. Ash runs into the I also do quite like, getting another of the, the demon POV chasing them, and them running away from, very much like the first two movies, the first three, really, the entire trilogy. And yeah, he gets into the place, and steps on a nail, gets demon tetanus, and yeah, I do quite appreciate, yeah, he is like, I mean, cutting my hand off was one fucking thing, but if I cut my leg off, that's really gonna, maybe there's another way. And yeah, sucking out the snake venom thing. And we get a very fun, like, alternative, in Army of Darkness, he, of a new him, a new, yeah, evil Ash grows out of regular Ash, but he, and part of that is one of them jumping into Ash's mouth, but here the little demon thing grows out of the venom that he sucked up and didn't spit out enough of. So he's, and instead of his hand fighting regular him, it's him hitting his own stomach and such, in order to stop the little demon. That was quite, and once he scrambles its eggs after it comes out, that was also quite fun. This is your demon. This is your demon on Ash. Any questions? And he gets the hot, boiling water, pours it into his mouth. And, that was already a fun gag in Army of Darkness, but there, most of the water went into his mouth. Here, he's, like, splashing on his face because he's not being careful enough. Just, yeah. Oh, also, like, the montage of him readying stuff includes him putting a little bit of cream on his neck. I'm guessing, some kind of, like, pain alleviating thing, or joint something. Let's see. And yeah, Ash, he's going to check the basement last, understandably. And yeah, he's understandably not quite sure if he wants to trust Henrietta, since, last time, yeah. And at the same time, as other Deadites, yeah, she makes a really good point. It does kind of look like, Professor Nobi completely, he was, the book turned him evil. Now he's torturing her. Look, he brought another victim. You have to stop this kind of thing. And as soon as Ash has finally unlocked, after punching an old lady, which you know understandable if you think that she's been taken over by a demon, can kind of ruin an otherwise perfectly pleasant family get together. And the yeah, as soon as he's unlocked, no, Professor Nobi says, "It possessed my wife Henrietta." Just yeah. Not even like he doesn't get even a second or two. Ash doesn't of just being like, okay, this is gonna help. No, immediately he finds out it's yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I really loved Kelly and Ruby fighting the evil tree, which almost like chomps up the Kelly. That was quite fun. Reminded me somewhat of the Tim Burton Sleepy Hollow with the tree there. But yeah, and that the solution is to stab it in the eye is quite clever. And yeah, she's like, well, that's another thing that that has attempted to kill me since I met Ash. But yeah, in several of the movies, trees will or vines and such will attack and such, but we've never in none of the movies and not the show up to this point has had like a tree attack like this. So again, fun. Yeah. Um, yeah, I quite like how Tanya, the college student, she's like, this is a bad idea, and she just keeps doing it. She's like, is it okay if we go back upstairs? And yet she keeps following. Very very typical American horror B movie kind of thing. Let's see, and yeah, I thought they did a really great job casting the Nobis. Both of them look very much like their movie counterparts. And let's see, yeah, a lot of great stuff with the bear trap. Trying to pull it off. Nobi is like closing it further. Great sound design on the crunching of the bone. And yeah, Ash tries to get, and I love his attempt to comfort her. He's like, if you need an amputation, I'm your guy. And he holds up the chainsaw arm, which, like, I mean, that is technically accurate, but I do not think this is the right time to just, yeah. Let's see. And yeah, some of the time he thinks that she's, like, being upset because he's being slow about, he doesn't stop and think, maybe there's something behind me, just, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the part where, Ash's hand is stuck in it and possessed Henrietta is pulling on him. And that's, of course, hurting Tanya further. That was also a great, yeah. The moment that I saw possessed Henrietta's face, I was like, is it my birthday? Did they actually, and, yeah, confirmed via IMDb, yes, Ted Raimi back as possessed Henrietta. Like, I'm not alone in saying, as someone who loves The Evil Dead, the trilogy, Ted Raimi as possessed Henrietta in the second movie is one of the absolute highlights. So, love that they did that. I think that might... Right, and great design on the, they even make sure that possessed Henrietta is naked, and we have the thing about, a boil on my ass, and then we see boils on possessed Henrietta's ass. And yeah, really, really glad that the fight didn't end in this episode. That's one hell of a cliffhanger. Like, people are coming back to see more Ted Raimi possessed Henrietta reprisal. Yeah, I think that's the right word. Let's see. Yeah. Sometimes I'm really great at remembering words, and sometimes my phonographic memory fails me. But yeah, let's see. I think that was... I feel like there was one more thing I want to say about the episode specifically. Right, yeah, the idea that Professor Nobi got Tanya down there to try to move the demon from Henrietta into Tanya so he could save his wife. Yeah, that is a clever, like, I could see the professor from the movie doing that, and just, that wasn't how it ended up, happening. But yeah, I think that might be everything. So, IMDb trivia, and let's see. Yeah, in this episode, Ash drank Shemp's beer, and then someone went on to explain the concept of Shemp. I'm going to go ahead and assume you already know this if you're this deep into Evil Dead. Oh, right. Yes. Early on in 1982, Ash hands a bottle of liquor to a reluctant bystander, played by the same actor, credited as the drunk in the present. So that's... So is that... Are they doing a time travel paradox where A leads to B, leads to C, leads back to A, maybe? And yeah, Ash mentions he went back in time to the Middle Ages, which, yeah, I mean... I feel like that's a although that did happen at the end of Evil Dead 2, so I don't know if it is a reference to Army of Darkness. I am hoping for more Army of Darkness, like direct reference to Army of Darkness. Now, longtime subscriber and frequent commenter, Art Cafe, who specifically requested I do the show, has said that there will be, yeah, the show is going to acknowledge Army of Darkness. I suppose it is possible that this is what it is. Oh, when they go through the time travel portal at the beginning, there is a poster visible for the Hills of Eyes, just like in the basement of the house in the first film. And let's see. Oh, right. It was great to hear the song Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, which... Literally, I cannot hear that song without thinking about the movie Monster, the 2003 movie. I think I had actually heard it before then. I didn't like Simpsons use it at some point, but yeah. Let's see. And yeah, someone points out Ted Raimi reprises his role as Deadite Henrietta from the original movie. A role he initially undertook due to his brother Sam, director of the first movie, having run out of actors. So, yeah. Let's see. Wait, original... Wasn't she only in the sequel? I forget. Anyway. And the... Yeah. When Ruby says to Kelly in the woods outside the cabin, it could have been worse, she's referring to the Evil Dead movies where the trees rape Ash's sister Cheryl. And oh yeah, back in 1982, the team drive past a cinema. The marquee shows the double feature Friday the 13th 3 and Poltergeist. And there was a reference to Poltergeist, which I actually think, yeah, that one appeared in the previously on in this episode. So with the face being ripped off. Let's see. And oh yeah. Ash isn't sure where the book is because he finds it in different spots depending on the film. In Evil Dead, it's in the basement found with Scott. In Evil Dead 2, during the partial reboot, it's on the desk in the living room. So yeah, that's of course what that's referencing. Oh, huh. When Ruby is reading the incantation to send them back in time, the words she's saying is actually the funeral song that Lucy sang in Xena in Xena. And let's see. Yeah, and yeah, the scene with the car accelerating down the road towards the cinema of the drunk outside it before traveling through time is a play on a similar scene in the Back to the Future movies. Ah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't catch that. It hasn't been that long since I last watched that trilogy. Now, let's see. Huh. Okay, so yeah, the Goof section points out Hills Have Eyes was released in 77, not 82. And let's see. No one from Wisconsin pronounces it Wisconsin like Tanya does. And let's see. Yeah. Um, really love this episode. Looking forward to so yeah. Next one is actually the season finale for season 2. Really looking forward to seeing how the yeah. And yeah, when I talked about the episode before this one, I was like a little unsure how they were gonna, how that wasn't the end of the season. But yeah, this is a quite good way to follow up. I really appreciate that we didn't have to wait, like, if the episode with Pablo dying, defeating Ball, if that had been the finale, and then we had to wait for a new season to start before we got this follow-up. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that they just delivered that the very next episode. Yeah. Um I think that is yeah, I'm really glad, I kind of hope this isn't the last time we see the I'm really going to miss Pablo. I hope that that only happens after I've watched the actual series finale of the show. But yeah, when he died, the episode before this one, I was a little worried that we weren't going to see more. But then they also brought Chet back, so that that isn't. It's not like it never happens. It's not like you have to be possessed by a deadite in order to come back after you die on this show. So yeah, really appreciate that. Right, I like that Ash is like, oh, my Mexican buddy. Oh, sorry, Honduran Mexican buddy. He's trying, okay? He's trying.